All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and also to their elders, the men that taught them. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the hopeful elect. This is the brother Shema Wan from the Great Millstone Houston Church. And today I want to come with a lesson touching on the subject matter of the prophets of doom. All right. So with that being said, I want to get right into this lesson, and I pray it'll be edifying to the Lord's elect. So before we get precepts, let's get this word doom. Let's look it up on Google first, then we'll go to the etymology online. So doom, it says on Google, this is the noun. It says death, destruction, or some other terrible fate. The verb, it says condemned to certain destruction or death. Okay, whenever the word doom goes around, it's not pleasing to hear. It makes people feel uncomfortable. It gives off a bad vibration. But in all actuality, okay, this is something that is attached to the Lord's return. That's why the scriptures tell you in Amos, let's grab this real quick before I go to the online etymology. One second. All right, this is, let me get there. This is Amos chapter 5 in verse 18. Amos 5 and 18, it says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light." So concerning the day of the Lord, a lot of people think upon the Lord's return, that's a day that they're waiting for. That's going to be a great day. You know, this is whenever peace is going to come to the earth for everybody and so on and so forth. But the scriptures tell you that concerning the day of the Lord is going to be a day of darkness and not light. It's going to be something that a lot of people aren't expecting, okay? And the way it's going to come, as the Google definition of doom read, the noun, it says death, destruction, or some other terrible fate. That's how it's going to be for a lot of people upon the Lord's return. All right. It says, let's keep reading. Well, now let me grab a precept since I said that. Concerning the day of the Lord, okay, just getting prophecies concerning the return of Yahweh Shai. But this is Isaiah chapter 66 in verse 15. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead," meaning judge, "with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." So just wanted to grab that because concerning the days that we're in, we're at the end of a rulership, okay? In accordance to the book of Jeremiah, the prophets are set up to do exactly what is taking place. Just preach the word, okay? Preach the word before it takes place. And the last few judgments that are set off, according to the prophecy, it's not going to be peace and safety. Jacob's trouble is coming. That's a day like never before, a time of trouble that's going to separate itself from anything that has ever happened on this earth. The hour of temptation is going to come upon this earth and take many take many people by surprise, whether they don't believe in what the mark of the beast is, or whether they think the times aren't going to be as hard as the scriptures tell us. All right, and you have to be, built up in the faith, and the Lord ultimately has to have mercy upon you in order to make it in these days. But with all that being said, according to prophecy, the last few that are remaining are attached to doom, okay? The Lord making his return. We just read it's not going to be a day of light. It's going to be a day of darkness. And the slain of the Lord are going to be many upon his return. So let's go to Jeremiah 28:8. Then we'll get this definition in the online etymology. But Jeremiah 28:8, it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And mind you, if you read up, a false prophet, Hananiah, he was telling the people things that, would make them feel good, things that would, not move you uncomfortably. But that's why Jeremiah had to step in and say, well, the prophets that have been before me and thee of old, they didn't prophesy about peace and safety and good news and, cotton candy, hugs and handouts. The prophets that have been before them prophesied against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So it was going to be contention. It was going to be, at some point in time, it was going to be going against. All right. And that's what you see right now. The true prophets are not with this place. The true prophets are prophesying against this great country, which is America, Babylon the Great. All right. This great kingdom, so-called great kingdom. The Edomites are in authority of war, of evil, and of pestilence. And that's what's coming. All right. We're at the end of this thing. The scriptures tell us in 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 9, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And we're at the end of this thing. That's why doom is attached to the prophets, especially in the days that we're in. But nothing has changed. This is Jeremiah chapter 1. Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 9. It reads, Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. All we are messengers. That's all we do. Proclaim the words of the Heavenly Father. And we're able to see these things through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and line these prophecies up with the days that we're in. And clearly we can see a trouble is on its way and doom is coming. All right. But this is the point. Verse 10, it says, See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. Prophets of doom. That's exactly what we're talking about. To root out. A kingdom is about to be rooted out. A people are about to be rooted out, the Edomites. And to pull down. Hey, we're at the end of this thing. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. That's what Yahweh Shai even made mention of. And we can see the divisions within this place on the inside. And to destroy and to throw down. And that's what's taking place. So doom is attached to the prophets that the Lord sent out. All right. It says, finishing it off, to build and to plant. And after this nation is rooted out, pulled down and destroyed and thrown down, you're going to see the nation of Israel being built and planted. Okay, that's the part of Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, that's why the apostles actually Hawashai, or the disciples actually Hawashai, whenever he rose from the grave upon his resurrection, they asked, now are you going to restore the kingdom unto Israel? Okay, the only way that could take place, the kingdom given unto Israel, is going to take place by a nation being uprooted or thrown down or pulled up, rooted out, everything that we just read. So the prophets are coming with a message of doom, but it lines up with the biblical prophecy. It lines up with the scriptures, and that's all that matters. But let's go to the online etymology and get the word doom now, because this is a righteous thing that's taking place. Doom doesn't just have a negative effect on everybody. Put it like this. For the elect, doom coming to Babylon the Great is going to be a righteous event that's going to take place. All right, but those that are caught up in the affairs of this life, doom is going to befall them in a very troublous way. But this is doom on the online etymology. This is the noun. It says a law, statute, or decree. Administration of justice, judgment, equity, or righteousness. It says discernment, destruction, and that's pretty much the point. So an administration of justice, it says, or righteousness. Now let's go back to the verb. On doom, going down to the verb, it says to judge, to pass judgment on, meaning condemn, to punish. And that's the point. So a judgment is coming. And back to the noun, it says administration of justice, righteousness. One second. All right, so now let's go. Now that we got the definitions, let's go to Matthew, the 24th chapter. And I'll just get a few precepts and that should be it. But concerning the days that we're in, and concerning the things that Yahweh Shah made mention of, this should put us in the mindset of what is about to take place. This is why, having a healthy fear towards the Lord is important. Because what side of this doom do you want to be upon? The part where it overtakes you and destruction is attached to it, or the side where you could be upon it where, you can entertain the aspect of the administration of justice being displayed. All right. But this is what Yahweh Shah said. Matthew 24 and verse 21. It says, for then shall great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Let me read that again. Matthew 24 and 21, it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. If there's going to be a time on the earth, as Yahweh Shah just explained it was going to be, what do you think that means? Is that peace and safety? No, doom, and righteously so. See, that's the problem. This is where a lot of people got it messed up. Let's go to it. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Real quick. It says, Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So the Lord is bringing these judgments because now it's reached this limit where now it's not going to continue to go on how it has been in the past. Now a lot of people are finna reap what they've been sowing. All of the unrighteous acts and everything, attached to that, there's going to be a recompense for it. Okay, you can't just forsake the ways of the Lord and just live a rebellious life and get off scot-free. All right, judgment is coming, and a part of a part of the judgments that are gonna take place. The Lord is gonna visit this world in a way like never before, due to the wickedness that has been going on for so long, and we'll get that next. But going back to Matthew 24 in verse 22, it says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. So how bad do you think it has to be on the earth for the Lord to shorten the days so the elect can be saved? All right, doom is coming. It says, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right, let's go. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. I'm going to read this in the GNT. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 5. It says, the Lord says, I am going to bring terrible disasters on the whole world, war and famine, death and destruction. In other words, doom. Because wickedness has spread everywhere and evil has reached its limit. So now you're going to see the part of the Lord bringing these judgments, as it says, terrible disasters. I am going to bring terrible disasters on the whole world, war and famine, death and destruction. That's the destination. That's the fate of America. All right. Thinking about the Google definition that we read, the noun for doom, just on a Google lookup, it said death, destruction, or some other terrible fate. Some other terrible fate. So that's how things are going to end. Let's keep reading. It says, let's jump down to verse 14. It says, still in the GNT, it says, the world and the people in it are doomed. The world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. Real quick, let me get a precept. In Joel, the 2nd chapter, you know, these prophecies that we go into, doom is attached and there's no way around it. Like Yahweh Shah said, you know, there's a fire that's kindled already. And he said that over 2,000 years ago, man. Man, my scriptures are ripped. Let me pull it up. This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. All right. Why would the inhabitants of the earth be trembling, or the inhabitants of the land, which is America, be trembling? Okay, because death and destruction is coming. In the fate of it, there's no escape. All right. So hearing about the prophets of doom, you know, that's not just lightly or loosely said. This fits the scriptures. All right. Which is a problem with a lot of people because they don't want this to come to an end. You know, they're not on the side where the administration of justice is going to be executed. You know, a lot of these people are going to experience the part of being destroyed, suffering that destruction. But let's get a few more precepts. Let's keep going. So picking up at verse 16, 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 in the GNT, it says, there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. It's going to be lawlessness. You know, people are going to be very, how should I say, on edge, where they're not going to obey the government's rules and the decrees that come out. There's going to be a lot of rebellion going on. Like it says in Matthew, the 12th chapter, real quick, since I quoted it earlier. I think I quoted it earlier. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25, real quick, 25. Matthew 12 and 25, it says, and Yahweh Shah knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And the kingdom that we're in right now is divided against itself. So what do you think the outcome is going to be? Let me pull this up in the blue letter real quick. It said every kingdom divided against itself. So this is the outcome, or this is the fate. Whenever you see division, it's over with. It's a wrap. All right. And these scriptures are just, you know, more of a comfort for us because we believe in what the Lord says. We have, how does it say in Proverbs? It says, where there's no vision, the people perish. We could see the vision. We could see how this is going to end. Okay. And just based off of precepts, not off of what we think or what we say. This has everything to do with what the Lord says. But this is Matthew 12 and verse 25. It says, and Yahweh Shah knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Let me look up this word real quick. Desolation. Desolation, it says to bring to or make desolate, come to naught, to make desolate, lay waste, to ruin, bring to destruction or desolation. And that's the point. It's synonymous for some of the definitions that we brought out for doom. Verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And that's the thing, it can't. It's over with. Babylon cannot be healed, man. So let's go back. 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 in the GNT again, it says, and there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control. A kingdom divided against itself, right? It says, while ignoring the legitimate government. Verse 17, there will no longer be free access to the cities. People, it says, because the struggle of power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Doom is on the way. Put it like this. Yahweh Shah did make the point of a time that's going to come like never before. It also tells us that in the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and 1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, speaking about Michael the archangel. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. So it's going to be so troublous. Going back to 2nd Ezra 15 real quick, in verse 18 it says, because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Verse 19, driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. Going into the time like never before, going back, Daniel 12 and picking up where I left off, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book of life. So the fate of the remnant, or the fate of the Lord's elect, they're going to receive mercy. But everybody excluded from that, they're going to be caught up in these troublous times. They're going to be caught up in this doom. All right. 2nd Ezra, I'm going to stay there. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 43. 1 second. Let me check something real quick. All right, I'm going to read this. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and 43. It says, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corrupt is past. So that's how things are going to end in this time, the age that we're in. Doom is coming. All right, and the beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. That's why, quoting 2nd Ezra, I'll just read it. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world. And how is it going to end? 2nd Ezra 7 and 43, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time. Okay, going back to 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So how it's going to end in this time? Jacob is going to be the beginning of it that followeth. And how is it going to be for Jacob? Going back, or the Israelites, going back to 2nd Ezra 7 and 43, I'll read it through. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. That's how it's going to be for the Israelites, having immortality, everlasting life, fully fulfilling the second covenant. 2nd Ezra tells us, the 2nd chapter, we're going to have everlasting tabernacles. 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, tells us we're going to receive a new body being changed in the twinkling of an eye. Isaiah tells us we're going to be a world without end. The book of Sirach tells us, our days are going to be innumerable. It's so many precepts that come into mind, man. So being a prophet of doom, is exactly what you see taking place on this earth. That's how you know who the real prophets are. Okay, coming with the correct doctrine. But I'll read. Let me get a precept first, and I'll go back to this. 2 Ezra 7. Let me get 2 Peter 3 and 12. Then I'll be able to wind it down. Second Peter chapter 3 in verse 12, it says, let me see. I'm going to start at 10. 2 Peter 3 and 10, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the destruction, or this passing away, is going to take place by that war that we read about in 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, in the 15th verse, in the GNT. It says, the war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. This war that's going to take place is going to be a nuclear war. All right, that's how the rulers that be right now are going to come out of that authority or that position. Okay, well, along with Yahweh Shai and the holy angels, you know, coming in that power and great glory also. All right. But it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. A lot of people aren't expecting it. A lot of people have that spirit of, it's not going to happen in this time. All right. In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, those that be in power right now, the Edomites, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. And it's going to take place by nuclear destruction. Okay? Real quick. Let me see. Real quick, this is Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Okay, Edom. That's how you say it in Greek. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. So the Edomites are doomed. Okay. It says, for the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra. Okay, Basra today, America is spiritually Basra today, a chief city amongst Esau. It says, in a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay, so the Lord is getting ready to have a sacrifice. That's why I said the slain of the Lord shall be many. A lot of people are about to experience what doomed is, man. Okay? So, matter of fact, I'll end it there. No, let me go back to 2 Ezra 7 before I close out. Let's jump back to Peter first. 2 Peter 3 and verse 11. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, how due to the nuclear destruction. It says, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Okay, this is the time to actually have a healthy fear towards the Lord, because doom is attached to his return, man. All right, the scriptures say the righteous shall scarcely be saved. But you have a lot of people out here who, you know, who take away from the return of the Lord as if it's not going to be, you know, a time like never before that's about to take place. Then ultimately the Lord is going to make his appearance, and it's over with. It's a wrap. All right. So it says, verse 12, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So destruction is physically and literally coming, okay? And America is going to be completely destroyed and never inhabited again. But going back to 2nd Ezra 7 and 44, okay, I'll start at 43. 2nd Ezra 7 and 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. Verse 44, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. That's how it's going to be whenever Esau is taken out of power. Righteousness is going to be established in the earth again. Okay? That the scriptures tell you. How does it? I always get it backwards. Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority. Nope. See. Let me read it real quick. Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And ultimately, when the righteous are in authority, all people are going to rejoice at the end of the day. Okay, because we're going to be, man, the Lord is going to put us on a level where the earth is going to thrive and prosper, and the dealings and the affairs in this life are going to be fruitful. All right, it's not going to be oppressing how it is now. And even the nations are going to feel the benefit of us being in rulership. But as far as being an Israelite, as far as this taking place and you are an Israelite, the Lord is finna upgrade us so much in a way where, you know, this is going to be like a bad dream. This experience is going to be like a fucking nightmare, you know. But going back to the point, 2nd Ezra 7 and 44, intemperance is at an end. It's going to be over with. Infidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown. And that's what we have to look forward to. And truth is sprung up. That's how it's going to be whenever it says, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The world to come, this is how it's going to be. Verse 45. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that hath gotten the victory. It's over with. Everything is over with. No more going back and doing it again. This is how it's going to end. All right. And it makes me think of Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, the 15th verse. You know, the things that we have to look forward to after this doom comes, after the destruction comes. All right. But I'll end it there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the Lord's elect. Again, I want to give our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And Lord willing, to the next time, Shalom.